Have you ever looked at your grown children and thought, when did I become invisible? You raised them, gave them everything you had, your time, your energy, your love, and now they roll their eyes when you speak, ignore your calls, or speak to you like you've somehow lost your value. It's not just hurtful, it's confusing, because you know you haven't changed. But the way they treat you has. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not powerless. Today, we're going to talk about 6 subtle but powerful shifts that can change the way your adult children see you, and, more importantly, how you see yourself. This isn't about lecturing them. It's about reclaiming the respect you deserve. Not by force, but through quiet strength. Stay with me until the very end, because 1 or 2 of these lessons might surprise you, and they could be exactly what you need to reset the balance in your relationship. Let's get started with the first powerful step. Stop seeking their approval. When we feel disrespected, our first instinct is often to try harder, to explain, to justify, to please. But here's the truth. The more you chase approval, the more you signal that you don't believe you deserve it already. Imagine this. A woman in her 70s, always available for her adult children, babysitting on demand, never saying no to last-minute requests, constantly offering help even when she's exhausted. And yet they treat her like a doormat. No thank yous, no regard for her time. Now imagine if she started saying, "I love you, but I have plans today," or "I need time to rest." Respect doesn't come from being endlessly available. It comes from having boundaries. When you stop bending over backward and start respecting your own time and energy, people around you, yes, even your kids, start taking notice. You're not being selfish, you're teaching them how to treat you. And setting boundaries doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as, "I'm not able to do that today, but I hope it all works out for you." That's power, calm, quiet, undeniable. And that brings us to the second shift. Speak less, mean more. Have you ever found yourself over-explaining your decisions to your kids, trying to justify why you spend your money a certain way or why you have a particular opinion? It's natural, but the hard truth is, over-explaining can actually erode respect. Let me share a story. There's a man named Richard, 68, who always tried to explain his point of view to his adult daughter. Every time they disagreed, he'd launch into long explanations, hoping she'd see his side. But the more he explained, the more she tuned him out. Until one day, he stopped trying to win her over. He just calmly said, "You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine." That one sentence, spoken with confidence and not a trace of anger, shifted everything. His daughter was shocked. And suddenly, she listened. Silence, when used with intention, is powerful. You don't have to defend every choice. You don't have to explain yourself endlessly. In fact, doing so tells them you're unsure of your worth. But when you say less and say it with conviction, you create space. Space for reflection, space for curiosity, and most importantly, space for respect to return. So now you've heard the first 2 shifts. Stop seeking approval and speak less, mean more. They may sound simple, but they take courage. And when you start practicing them, your whole energy changes. You're no longer reacting. You're leading. If you're still with me and finding these insights valuable, please comment the number 1 below. It helps me know you're here, listening, learning, and it means more than you know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next parts of this video. You deserve content that speaks directly to your experience, because now that we've covered the first 2 powerful shifts, it's time to move even deeper. Up next, we'll talk about something that may feel uncomfortable, but could be the key to transforming your entire relationship with your kids. Now that we've covered 2 powerful shifts, stopping the approval chase and learning to speak less but mean more, let's move into a deeper truth. Because respect doesn't just come from what you say, it also comes from how you see yourself. And many parents over 65 don't realize how much they've allowed their entire identity to revolve around being a parent, especially when the kids are grown. Third shift, reclaim your identity. Outside of mom or dad. It happens slowly. Over the years, your whole life becomes about your children. You celebrate their wins, feel their heartbreaks, support them financially or emotionally, even when they're well into adulthood. And somewhere along the line, you stop living your life. The truth is, when your identity is completely wrapped up in your children, they stop seeing you as a full person. That's when the comments start. The interruptions, the tone that sounds like they're talking at you instead of with you. But here's the secret. The moment you start rediscovering who you are, beyond the role of parent, you begin to command a different kind of respect. Think about it. When was the last time you did something just for you? There's a woman named Teresa, 72, who'd always been mom first and everything else second. But once her kids moved out, they started treating her like a live-in assistant when they visited, never asking how she was, never inviting her out. One day, she decided to enroll in a painting class, then a yoga group, then a book club. She started filling her time with joy that didn't depend on her children. And guess what? Her kids noticed. "You look so happy," her daughter said. "I didn't know you liked art." Exactly, you had a name before you were mom. It's time to rediscover it. And no, it's not selfish, it's survival. Because when you thrive independently, you remind your kids that you are still growing, still dreaming, still you. And nothing demands respect more than someone who knows who they are. Fourth shift, don't guilt them, inspire them. This one might sting a bit. It's easy to slip into guilt tripping when you feel unappreciated. "All I've done for you, and this is how you treat me." Or, "You never visit anymore, do you even care?" It's understandable. The hurt is real. But guilt doesn't earn respect. It earns distance. No one likes to feel manipulated, even when it's unintentional. And unfortunately, guilt makes adult children put up emotional walls. They stop calling, not because they don't love you, but because every conversation makes them feel like a failure. So how do you change the energy? You flip the script. Instead of guilt, you lead with inspiration. Instead of pointing out what they're doing wrong, you show them what thriving looks like. Take Charles, for example. A 69-year-old retired teacher who was heartbroken that his sons rarely called. Instead of sending frustrated messages or playing the victim, he started posting photos of his hikes, his cooking projects, and even learning to play the piano. He didn't brag. He just lived well. And without saying a word, he sparked curiosity. "Hey, Dad," one of his sons finally texted, "that piano thing looks cool. When did you start that?" It wasn't a lecture that brought them back. It was energy, confidence, life. You don't need to convince your children to respect you. You need to remind them that you are someone worth respecting, not with words, with action. Now take a breath. You've just learned two powerful truths: that you are more than a title, and that your energy can draw people in more powerfully than any guilt ever could. These are not easy shifts. They take courage, they take intention, but they're also transformational, and they prove something important. You haven't lost your power, you just haven't been using it. If this tip struck a chord and you're finding this helpful, please comment the number 3 below. It means a lot to know someone like you is listening, learning, and caring deeply about aging with wisdom and dignity. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit the like button, not just because it helps the channel, but because this content is made for people like you, people who aren't done growing, people who want to take control of their relationships and live with strength. Let's continue now, because the next point might be the most difficult of all. It's about stopping something many parents do without realizing, something that quietly erodes respect. So far, we've uncovered 4 powerful truths. Stop chasing approval, reclaim your voice through silence, rediscover who you are beyond being a parent, and shift from guilt to inspiration. But we're not done yet. Because even when you stop over-explaining, even when you start living for yourself again, there's one more hidden habit that silently chips away at how your adult children see you. And that's this. 5th shift, stop rescuing them. Let them struggle. This might be the most difficult one yet, As a parent, you've spent your life solving problems. From scraped knees to financial emergencies, you've always stepped in. It's second nature. You love them, and love makes us want to protect. But here's the harsh truth. Constantly rescuing your adult children doesn't earn respect. It removes it. Every time you solve a problem they should handle themselves, you're telling them, whereas you can't do this without me. And they start to believe it. Worse, they start to expect it. And over time, your help doesn't feel generous anymore. It feels like a given, like you're a resource to be used, not a person to, be honored. Let me tell you about James. He's 74, and his 40-year-old son has been leaning on him for years. Rent money, car troubles, emotional support at all hours. James kept giving, thinking it would eventually earn his son's gratitude. But instead of getting closer, they grew further apart. His son stopped saying thank you, stopped checking in, unless he needed something. And finally, James had enough. The next time his son asked for money, he calmly said, "I love you, but I believe you can handle this yourself." It wasn't said in anger. It was said with trust. At first, the response was silence, then frustration. But weeks later, James got a message that simply said, "You were right. I figured it out. Thanks for believing in me." That was the first time his son thanked him in years. Letting your adult children struggle doesn't mean abandoning them. It means showing confidence in their ability to grow, and it gives you something even more valuable in return: peace of mind and the space to be seen not just as a helper, but as a human being. You've earned the right to step back, and stepping back can sometimes be the very act that wakes them up to everything you've done. Now we've gone through 5 shifts. Some of them take time, some might feel uncomfortable, but each one puts another piece of power back in your hands. And the 6th? It's the boldest yet. It's not for everyone. But for some, it may be the most important boundary they ever draw. 6th shift. Protect your peace. Even if it means creating distance. This one's hard. And I don't say it lightly. But sometimes, despite all your efforts, your silence, your boundaries, your strength, your adult children continue to cross the line. They speak to you with disrespect. They mock your opinions. They show no interest in your well-being. And you're left wondering, what else can I do? Sometimes the answer is simple, but not easy. You walk away from the disrespect. Not forever. Not with hatred, but with strength. This is what Patricia, 70, did after her daughter continually insulted her decisions and belittled her in front of her grandkids. Patricia had tried everything, talking calmly, setting boundaries, even forgiving again and again, but it never stopped. So, Patricia made a bold move. She told her daughter she loved her, but wouldn't allow the disrespect to continue. She chose space. And for the first time in years, she focused entirely on herself, her health, her hobbies, and her own healing. Months later, her daughter reached out. And this time, she was quiet, humble. She asked to talk, not argue. Something had shifted. Sometimes, the most powerful act of love is distance, because it shows them, I value myself too much to stay in this dynamic. That doesn't mean you close your heart. It means you protect it, and by doing so, you often give your children the one thing they really need, the space to see you clearly. If you've made it this far, you clearly care about more than just getting along. You care about your dignity, your well-being, and your future. So please comment the number 5 below if any part of this has made you pause and reflect. Your comment means the world, and it reminds me that you're here, that you're learning, that you're ready. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and like this video so we can continue creating content that supports people like you, people who are still growing, still standing strong, and still worthy of deep, lasting respect. Now that we've gone through all 6 powerful shifts, let's take a breath. In the final part, we'll tie everything together and talk about how to keep this strength going every single day, no matter how others act. You've just walked through 6 of the most powerful shifts a parent can make after 65, especially when you feel your children no longer see you the way they once did. It takes courage to face these truths. It takes strength to act on them. But now, with all 6 shifts in front of you, let's step back and pull it all together. Not as rules, but as tools. Tools you can use day by day to rebuild respect without ever having to raise your voice. Let's revisit these 6 powerful truths, briefly. Not to repeat, but to reinforce. Stop seeking approval. You already earned it by living, sacrificing, and growing. Speak less, mean more. Because your silence, when grounded in confidence, can say everything. Reclaim your identity outside of being mom or dad, because your life has chapters left to write. Don't guilt them, inspire them. Show them how strength looks, not how resentment sounds. Stop rescuing them. Trust their journey and protect your energy. Protect your peace, even if it means distance, because your mental and emotional health must come first. These shifts aren't about punishing your kids. They're about raising the standard for how you allow yourself to be treated and what you model in return. Because here's something few people talk about. You teach people how to treat you, not by what you demand, but by what you allow. So, where do you go from here? Start with one shift, just one. Maybe today you draw a boundary around your time. Maybe tomorrow you say no without an apology. Maybe next week you do something purely for yourself, just because it makes you feel alive. This is how the change begins, quietly, strongly, day by day. Let me give you a quick story. Evelyn, 76, was tired of feeling dismissed by her grown kids. Her opinions were ignored, her time was taken for granted, and she felt more like a background character in their lives than a parent. She watched videos like this one. She reflected, and then she acted. She started small. She set a boundary. No more answering calls after 9 p.m. Then she joined a gardening club and stopped rearranging her life for last-minute demands. She no longer chased conversations, she waited. And gradually they noticed. Her son said, "You seem different." She smiled and said, "I feel more like myself than I have in years." No drama, no guilt, just change. And with that change came respect, not because she asked for it, but because she embodied it. Remember this, you are not here to beg for kindness. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to live fully, age boldly, and walk through this chapter with clarity and peace. Respect is not something you win, it's something you claim, by knowing who you are and refusing to shrink. And even if your children don't change right away, you will. And that's where real peace begins. A gentle challenge for you. Think about one thing from this video that truly resonated with you. Just one. Now ask yourself, how can I live that truth today? Maybe it's choosing silence when you'd usually argue. Maybe it's saying no when guilt tells you to say yes. Maybe it's finally doing something for yourself without explanation. Whatever it is, own it. Your wisdom has value, your presence has weight. You're not fading, you're evolving. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I hope something here sparked clarity, strength, or even a sense of relief. Please comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Reading your comments inspires us more than you know and helps this community grow stronger together. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with someone else who might need a reminder that their voice still matters. This channel exists for people like you, those who are aging with courage, purpose, and pride. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. And above all, you deserve to be respected. No matter what has happened in the past, the next chapter is still yours to write. Until next time, take care of your beautiful heart. And never forget, you're stronger than you think.